Salute, salute, salute. Much love, family. Man, thank you all for watching or rewatching or whatever you're doing at the moment. I know some of you are gonna, rewatch the replay. But this is a topic that, man, has been really dear to my heart lately, man. I've been really wanting to talk about this, you know, and it's been something that I have been dealing with for a little while now, man. For those of you who know, I've had a lot of family loss. You know what I mean? And that's why I've been on my break, and I've just been trying to, get myself back into where I need to be. And I want to say, number one, I appreciate everybody's love, everybody's DMs, man, everybody's support. I truly appreciate it, man. Like, I definitely appreciate it. You know what I mean? If you share scriptures, you know what I mean? If you have prayed for me at all, I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Trust me. You know what I mean? Because I need it. You know what I'm saying? And it definitely helps me out a ton. But with that being said, I definitely want to get to the topic, you know, that I want to discuss. And I may not be on long, but I feel like I have to talk about this because it's something that's just been on my mind recently a lot. And it's something I have to tackle. You know what I mean? It's something that, for a long time I haven't wanted to talk about. You know what I mean? Because when you tell people that you're dealing with these things, a lot of times people, they don't. Sometimes you don't know how people are gonna receive it. You don't know what they're gonna say about it. You don't know how they're gonna feel about what you're sharing, or how they're gonna view you once you share it. But you know, the one thing that I've noticed is that I have to share different things like I'm going through. You know what I mean? And use my platform as an experience. The late great Q Billa Jones showed me that. Use your platform as a way to reach people and to help people and to try to communicate with people, you know, in a way where they can understand, in a way that shows them that, look, I'm human and I have my flaws, and I go through things. And as content creators, we have to show that. We have to show that vulnerability as well as provide content, right? It's a duality, right? So I want to provide content, but I also want to be vulnerable about the things that I actually feel and go through, right? As much as I can. You know what I mean? Of course, you know, there's certain things that are going to be private, right? Which we all have, that we don't talk about or we don't share, right? And there's certain things that we don't mind sharing. But this is something that I definitely want to talk about because it's something that I feel like is plaguing our community, and we just not talking about it. We just sweeping it under the rug. We're not dealing with it. It's going on and it keeps happening. And there's nobody actually really dealing with this, right? Or if they're trying to deal with it, we call them weak. We say that they're, that they don't that they, oh, you're not crazy. What's going on with you? Or are you crazy? Like we try to diagnose them or misdiagnose them instead of just listening and being there. Sometimes a person doesn't need you to do a whole bunch of talking or whatever. Sometimes they just need to air. Sometimes they just need somebody just to hear them out and listen. You know what I mean? Or sometimes, they just need to maybe hear a voice or hear people talking or whatever. Anxiety affects us in different ways. Grief and depression affects us different ways. Y'all see the title of the show. So anxiety, grief, and depression can affect you in different ways. And please, whoever it is, man, do not. I don't have the hotline number that Bolo has, but there's a hotline number. If you are feeling any of these feelings, please reach out for help. Please reach out for somebody. There's different groups that I even have myself that I have gone on and talked to different people or just listen in the conversation. Spiritual groups, right, where you can actually tune in. They're sharing scriptures. They're sharing different things to help people. They're sharing different ways in order for you to get better, right? So, these are the things that we have to. These are the tools that we have to use. You know what I'm saying? We cannot be afraid of using these tools. You know what I mean? And we can't shun people when they want to use these tools. All right. The biggest thing we do is that when somebody tells us these problems, are we shunning them or are we allowing them to have a voice? Right? Are we hearing them and are we hearing what they really feel in that moment? You know what I mean? Or like I said, are we trying to misdiagnose and are we trying to tell them how they feel or tell them what they should be doing or how they should be doing, right? Sometimes people can handle it, sometimes they can't. You know what I mean? So you want to proceed with caution when you're dealing with somebody with anxiety, grief, or depression. With me, when I'm dealing with my anxiety, grief, or depression, it's hard for me to sleep. Sometimes it's hard for me to eat. Sometimes I don't want to have extended conversations. Sometimes I don't even want people over my house in my presence. Sometimes I like to just be isolated. Um, what I used to do a lot of gaming back in the days, but now I would mostly like just sleep. You know what I'm saying? Sleep has been my has been my one thing that I do a lot. You know what I'm saying? Especially lately. Just trying to, sleep and not think about certain things and not allow certain things to affect me. But it's hard to do that when you're grieving and you're trying to deal with whatever you're dealing with. You're trying to, not allow things to push you over the edge, and you're trying to be at your best and continue to strive and live life and, be around your family and do family activities. And it's the summertime, so you're trying to, you're trying to be in the mix. But sometimes, man, the summer or the spring for both of them, spring and summer, has not been enjoyable. It has been completely unenjoyable. And these are the times where I actually really love to have fun. It's around my birthday time, you know what I mean? I usually go out. Sometimes I may go on vacation. Sometimes I may go here or there. But man, ever since everything has happened, you know what I mean, notably with my nephew, I just do not want to do anything a lot of times. A lot of days will go by, a lot of weekends have gone by, and I have not wanted to do anything. I really had to force myself to do things. You know what I'm saying? And that is part of the process, right? So understanding that there's certain things that are part of the process, right? And in the process, I get frustrated, just like anybody else will get frustrated. We will get frustrated in the process, and that's okay. Frustration is a part of the process. Allow yourself to feel the frustration. Allow yourself to feel the anger, the upsetness, you know what I mean? The despair, the lack of hope. Allow yourself to feel all of these things, because these things are essential, right? And the reason why I put the title is that I think that, especially as people of color, you know what I mean? I think that we just shelve our emotions way too much, right? We're just always shelving. We're shelving. We're shelving. Nah, I'm just gonna focus on getting money. Now I'm just gonna focus on doing that. Now I'm gonna focus on building my business. So we're not dealing with what is really actually affecting us. We're not dealing with what's really bothering us. You know what I'm saying? And because we're not doing that, it's gonna eat at us. It's gonna eat at our core. You know what I'm saying? And I think that we have to understand that. I think we have to understand that you can't just, not deal with certain things. For my IG family, I'm definitely about to share this live as well. Sorry, I'm just taking my time, but I'm just in the midst of talking and just trying to get my thoughts out, man, because this thing is very personal to me. The subject matter. So I'm gonna definitely share this live on IG. Give me a second, IG family. I'm going to post it very soon and actually go live on there. So yeah, that is a key essential thing. You know what I mean? Dealing with the frustrations, dealing with in and out. You know what I mean? Dealing with just different things that that we feel. You know what I mean? I'll definitely give a shout out to those who are in the comments. Give me 1 second. You know what I mean? So hold on. Let me go to my StreamYard and my IG. Hold on. Okay, here we go. There we go. Okay, IG family, you are now live with me. Salute to Mr. Jason Washington. He's giving a shout out to Grace. You know what I mean? The answer is absolutely yes. Why we self-medicate with liquor and weed so much? Of course. Of course. You know what I mean? Salute to Grace. You know what I mean? I'm glad she's in the building. You know what I mean? And yes, substance abuse is a thing, right? We self-medicate. You know what I mean? We self-medicate. That is a easy out. You know what I mean? I'm feeling this way, I'm gonna self-medicate. I'm feeling that way, I'm gonna self-medicate. Right? You know what I mean? And that's why, I'm doing these things called daily devotions where I'm getting into the word. And you know what I mean, I'm sharing with people who actually want to get into the word, and we are having devotionals. It was hard for me to do it last week because I had a family scare with health, and it just kind of knocked me out the whole loop. So I was just traumatized, so I couldn't even really deal with anything that was really going on, because it kind of threw me back into that moment of trauma and grief. So I just kind of just faded out. You know what I'm saying? So that was that. And then, now this week I'm starting to come back in, and I'm starting to, feel a lot more like myself. So now I'm doing, my devotionals again. I have actually my live devotional tomorrow. Definitely, y'all check it out if you would like. And we're going to be discussing a spiritual topic, as always, for our Thursday show. You You know what I mean? So, and in November, I will be doing a mix of spiritual content and actually different topics on diverse issues. You know what I mean? But it will be from a more spiritual base. Okay, it will not be like it was last time. All right, it's gonna be completely different. It's gonna be from a spiritual base. It's gonna be focus on that and focus on really trying to solve and find solutions, but trying to do it from a spiritual base and really trying to focus more on the Word of God and focusing on what He has to say instead of what our sinful nature has to say. I do want to have different conversations and hear perspectives, right? But trust me, I'm definitely gonna throw the Word in there. All right, so like, please do not be offended or be upset. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to change anybody's opinion about God or trying to persuade you to tell you that you're going to hell, anything like that. That's not the case. And salute to Catalia. Salute, family. Good to see you. You know what I mean? So, and yeah, it's not a way. It's not a platform for me to condemn people or whatever. You know what I mean? I just definitely want to hear people's perspective, but it will be just a different tone. I will have a different tone of how I approach things. So, please understand that that's what's gonna happen. And I'm still gonna keep it. I'm still gonna be myself and say what I gotta say, but I'm definitely gonna really be bringing it from a different tone, completely. All right, from a definitely on a God-based tone. You know what I mean? I'm definitely probably gonna throw some scriptures in there as well. But there's been a lot of scriptures that's been helping me lately, right? Salute to the homie Ami Cetera. Good to see you. Good to see you. I'm glad that you tuned in. Peace and blessings to you, right? So this is my thing, right? I was looking at a scripture yesterday, and it was one that I read. It was Philippians 4, right? And a lot of times we trying to figure out what our focus should be, right? We're trying to figure out how we should be, and how we should think about God, and where does God want us to be, especially when we are feeling anxious or we are dealing with a lot of things that are plaguing us or that's causing us anxiety, depression, or grief, right? So this scripture helped me out a lot. Philippians 4 verses 4 through 9. You know what I mean? I'm gonna definitely share this tomorrow as well on my live, because it's gonna kind of coincide. So it says, "Rejoice in the Lord always." I will say it again, rejoice. Let your gentleness be evident to all. The Lord is near. Do not be anxious about anything, right? So boom, right? God is reassuring me I don't need to be anxious about anything, right? But in every situation, by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, present your request to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Whatever you have learned or received or heard from me or seen in me, put into practice, and the God of peace will be with you. Salute to Ben here. So good afternoon, everyone new to the channel. Thank you for coming up, brother. I definitely appreciate you. Much love. You know what I'm saying? So these are things that I got to focus on, right? And trust me, it's a battle. It's not. I haven't perfected anything, right? I'm a human being, so that don't mean I'm gonna always do this, right? I'm gonna battle with this sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, nah, God, I want to do it my way. I want to do it my way. I want to say what I want to say. I want to do what I want to do. And God is like, nah, that's not what's gonna happen. That's not what's gonna help you. You know what I mean? You know that's not the path that you need to be on. So redirect your path. Focus on what's good, what's pleasing. You know what I mean? And continue to grow. And I will be the one that will heal you. I'll be the one that'll help you through your grief, through your anxiety, through your depression, right? But in this, as we're going to the Word, or we're going to the Quran, or whatever y'all believe in, right? Because I don't shame nobody in what they believe in. Whatever helps you be a better person. Whatever you're going through to help you be a better person, understand it is still a process. All right? It may not happen overnight, or it could, right? It's still a process. We have to remember that, and we have to basically go through the process, right? And sometimes, boom, the process can be quick, right? God can show up, and boom, everything. He can show you different things, and things can work out. But a lot of times, we got to kind of go through certain things in order to get through that process, and it's perfectly fine, right? Allow yourself to go through the process, right? Allow yourself to feel. Allow yourself to think about that family member, or think about that job loss, or think about whatever it is that you are grieving about, right? allow yourself to go through those things, right? And whatever you need to do, right, that is healthy, or whoever you need to talk to that can actually help you through it, do it. You know what I mean? Do that, and focus on those things, and focus on those who really truly are there and who really truly love you and want to help you. You know what I mean? Focus on the things that you want to accomplish and want to do as well, right? Try to look at the good in life, and at times it can be hard to do that, right? Sometimes you don't feel like doing that, right? And that's okay as well. But do what you can to really, really help yourself to be better in the fight through this. But in our community, right? A lot of times, what's going on, Jason Washington? Good to see you, bro. What's up? A lot of times we're not doing that, and we're telling people, you don't need to do that. Don't go to therapy. No, don't go to therapy. You going to church? Why are you going to church for? You weak. You know what I mean? you want to go to church, huh? Oh, don't tell me you're going to church now, man. Come on, man. You're going to hit all that mumbo jumbo they speaking. Don't go to church, right? Oh, you want to talk to so-and-so? Don't talk to so-and-so. You know what I mean? Yeah. No, you can definitely join the conversation, bro. I'm going to drop the link. Definitely. Yeah, come on up. Yeah, I'm not preventing nobody to come up, man. Anybody want to come up, y'all can come up. You know I do on my platform. I don't prevent nobody from coming up or saying their piece. You know what I'm saying? And that's for anybody. Anybody want to come up, say what you got to say? You know what I mean? Just keep respectful and we all good. But yeah, like, every time as a people that we try to express how we really feel, right? A lot of times we are just shaming and shunning each other. You know what I'm saying? Oh, where you want to go to the mosque? You don't need to go to the mosque, man. Come hang out with us, man. Come hang out. Come with us, man. Come get something to drink on, or come hook up with this female, or come do this, or come do that. Man, focus on getting some money, right? So that's not helping that person, right? Because we're not dealing with the core issue. You know what I mean? Let me let the homie Jay Washington. What's going on, bro?
How you feeling, man? Great topic.
Man, it's great to see you, bro. How you? I'm talking about a topic that's really dear to me, man. Just the anxiety, grief, and depression, and how is I think it's eradicating our community because we're not really getting the help. You know what I'm saying? We're really not.
No, and we shame each other for trying to get help. That's always been I think the whole therapy thing has only been a positive in our community. I would say in the last maybe 8 years. But before that, as a community, we always make fun of anyone that goes to therapy, anyone that's trying to understand their psyche, and especially on the men's side. I think women have embraced therapy, or at least medication and things like that, way before men do. And men see it as being weak. Men see it as they're not being manly. And this is why I think it's one of those things where men have to have conversations about how to healthily fix their psyche, fix their mental, fix the things that happened to them in the past, because they do come up. And I see this when we medicate with alcohol and weed. It rarely ever comes to a situation where people can de-escalate in those situations. Our traumas come out in those moments when we're trying to party, and that's what leads to death and violence.
Wow, that's a great perspective, brother. You know what I mean? And I think, man, I think that it's just a vicious cycle, right? You know what I mean? Because we're always telling each other, be strong, man up. You know what I mean? Or woman up, or, you know what I mean? Or my family would say, they would say our last name and they'll say, that's who you are. Remember who we are. You know what I mean? It's like, I know who we are. I know we went through the struggle. I know we survived certain things. I know our family didn't have, and we came from poor circumstances, and our family made out of other circumstances, but still, we still need to get help. You know what I mean? We still need to talk to somebody. We still need to deal with these things, because if not, self-deletion, can come in quick. Substance abuse can come in quick. Drug abuse can come in quick. You know what I mean? Sexual addiction comes in quickly. You know what I'm saying? All these things come in quickly, and we're not dealing with what's really, really bothering us, man. We're not dealing with it. We're not dealing with it. We're not talking about it. We're not giving any light to it, right? And that's what's causing a lot of things to happen in our community, that's making things go south. And like you said, I think for men especially, right? And I'm not downplaying what the sisters go through at all. Sisters, I know y'all go through a lot. I'm not downplaying what y'all go through. I know that y'all deal with brothers stalking y'all, raping y'all, all types of stuff, right? That men never probably have to ever face ever, right? So teen pregnancy, all type of stuff, right? I get it. Y'all got your struggle too. But I think for men, we not a lot of times I don't think we are afforded that luxury to be vulnerable or to cry, to say certain things. And if so, we're called a sucker, or we're called weak, or we're called whatever else, right? So go ahead, brother. I know you unmuted your mic. I'm sorry, my bad.
I know I was unmuting it because I had auto coming by. And I didn't want it to mess up, and you were kind of having a good cook. So I don't want that to be interrupting you. But this was supposed to be the role of the church. And this is where, especially Black churches, as much money as Black culture and society has put into the pockets of Black churches have failed in an immense way in helping Black men in their mental health issues, especially when it comes to, I would say, when breakups happen. Because whether it's the church or whether a fraternity, when men don't have the relationship with their kids that they want and start getting suicidal, start getting into the alcohol, they don't have an outlet to help them. They don't. Men are usually by themselves in those situations, and men are also by themselves near the end of life. Our church is supposed to be a safe haven for that. Our church was supposed to be kind of upholding and keeping everything kind of copacetic and like, hey, take care of the men, take care of your fathers. But all of it's kind of gone, and now men don't have any outlets except for negative ones, meaning, oh, they go to a sports game, they go to a sports bar, they go to a strip club, they go to these places to try to take away the pain, but in reality, it's only going to give them more. And I think our churches have failed immensely in the Black man's mental health and kind of making a code to kind of get us off this super masculinity thing that we try to hold on to as a Black man and Black culture and Black entertainment tells us to be. And the Black church was supposed to be the opposite and kind of be like, oh, hey, no, that's not who your soul is supposed to be. That's not good for your mental. That's not good for your psyche. That's not good for, alchemy. That's not good for any of this. And so I think religion as a whole, Christianity is great, but the Black church itself has failed immensely in dealing with men's mental health. And that's why they have so many other outlets that aren't healthy.
Okay, bro, let me ask you a question, right? So, because I'm not disagreeing with your standpoint at all, right? At all, I'm not disagreeing. But as a man who is, because in my duality, right? I have a duality. Like I really want to focus on God, but I also am a revolutionary in a lot of senses, right? That's my nature. Like I want to speak out against the ills and wrongs that I see that are done, right? Especially when it comes
you're trying to be the Christian Malcolm X. That's tough.
It's a duality, right? And
yes,
still being patient with our people, because sometimes our people, we sometimes react to things and we don't even know what's really going on, right? We just react and we'll just do things and we don't even have the full story. We don't even know nothing. We just react so quickly and we don't have information, right?
Yes.
Whether something good or bad happens, we just react without getting the full story, right? And that happens a lot on social media. It happens a lot in real life, right? You see something happen to a celebrity, boom, somebody just reacts. They haven't. You don't even have the whole information about a celebrity. You're just getting a snippet of something that happens, and you're automatically just talking about it. And it's like, no, get the full information, get everything that has happened, and then you can respond to whatever it is that's going on. You know what I'm saying? And especially in our families, right? You know what I mean? Because families, those are the ones that's really close to us, right? Oh, I've been feeling this way for a while, so I'm gonna let loose on Uncle So and So. It's like, dang, like, but you know, Uncle So and So been dealing with cancer and he ain't tell nobody. You know what I mean?
You know a great way that I used to. Sorry, go ahead.
No. But this is my question. I'm gonna let you say what you gotta say.
Okay.
And Prentice, man, thank you, bro. Love you, man. I see you send me a DM. Love you, bro. Thank you for always being there, man. I'm definitely gonna hit you up soon. But yeah, man. With that being said, bro, I'm gonna let you share your perspective, then I got a question. So go ahead.
So go ahead and ask the question first, and then I think your question probably
So
aligns with what we're talking about anyway.
exactly. So my question as a revolutionary, right,
Hmm.
is, you know, is it really the church has failed us, or is it more systematically that we have been dropped, right? Since us either, because some people believe that we were already here, or some of us were born here, or whatever, right? Whatever incarnation that you believe that we arrived or have been in this country, in whatever state you want to believe in. I'm not disagreeing or agreeing, because I do believe some of us was here. I do believe some of us was born here, but that's neither here nor there, right? My thing is that since we've been brought to this land, or whatever we, or because I believe oppression and colonization is not just in America. I believe it's worldwide, right? So since our people are colonized and oppressed literally worldwide, and we got to fight literally, to the point where blood has to be shed in order to be free, right? Do you think it's systematically that we have been failed, worldwide, or do you really believe like it's the church that has failed? You know what I mean? Or maybe a duality, maybe a little bit of both. You know what I mean? I'll
I
leave
think
you
I
to
think
answer.
I think capitalism and Christianity have been perverted. I think Christianity is an amazing religion if it's practiced in its honesty. And what I mean by that is that Christianity is supposed to be, it's supposed to be a minimalistic religion. It's always speaking about kind of like avoiding the dollars and the things like that. But what's happening in the black church is that it went completely opposite. It turned into a pimp culture, and that's why so many of the churches are always trying to get money. The preachers are dressed in the nines and looking great because it's like admire me. When in reality, if it was a honest Christianity religion, I'm sorry, a church, that preacher is actually looking poor. That preacher is living below his means. That preacher, and that's what our black churches were supposed to be teaching the community. But instead, as a community, we have latched on to capitalism in a way that's insane. Everything about being black and our entertainment and our masculinity or whatever is tied to some sort of capitalistic mentality. And so that's why a lot of men are so idle, because you're trying to maintain this and keep this up for the rest of your life, and you have a breakdown. And when men have those breakdowns, there's no one there to hold them and help them get back up. A lot of times when men have those breakdowns, those midlife crises, that's when the divorce happens. That's when the children are taken away. And so there is no support system for men who try to maintain this capitalistic mentality, because it's been pushed onto them by, their peers and their other black men, that when they have their breakdown, what do? Who do they turn to? And that's one of the issues that I think the black church, the church has not stepped up and helped with. So I do think it's a worldwide thing, but I honestly do also believe that it's very authentically unique for America.
Wow. Okay. Okay. And I most certainly agree, because I think that, and I'm not, and I don't, I won't, I'm not gonna say it's all a black, because I hate to say all when it comes to us at all, right? Because our experience is so multifaceted, right? We got brothers from Europe, we got brothers from South America, brothers from the Caribbean, brothers from Africa itself, brothers here in America or North America, Alaska. We're everywhere, right? Literally, we are global, right? So I don't want to say all of us, because I know that there are some, churches that represent us that are actually good. You know what I mean? That are actually striving to be good, whether it's a small church or whatever else. Now the mega
Would you say that it's
churches,
above 10% of black churches?
I I can't put a percentage on it, brother. But
You just
I will say this though. I will say
okay.
this though. I will say this though. I think with the mega churches, I do think it'd be some fishiness going on, right? But I don't want to say all of them are bad, because I'm not a member of all of them. But I think
I
with the mega
understand, but
churches,
even the small
sometimes it'd
ones.
be a little bit iffy with me.
I grew up in a small black Baptist church, and it's just as I remember the preacher divorced his wife. He had two sons, and I was cool with the three sons. We were always kicking in, playing some basketball. He broke up with the first woman, the first lady, whatever you want to call it, and ended up dating and marrying the babysitter. And nobody in the church had a problem with it. The woman moved away, took the kids, and And all the kids who knew, we're like, wait, hold up. We're like, what's going? That doesn't make sense at all. And we knew the babysitter. She was like maybe 5 years or 6 years older than us. And all of a sudden now she comes in as the first lady, and then we see all the adults of the church embracing her. And us as the kids, we're like, this does not compute. This does not match what the lessons are that you have been telling us. This seems very hypocritical. And then, of course, from the adults, we're told, shut up, you don't know, you're stay in a child's place. And that's why I think a lot of men, especially at a young age, saw the dirty things that the preachers and the deacons were doing and not getting called out on it, and said, this church isn't, it's not real. Why am I giving my money to something for show? It's not helping my spirit. I see they're all hypocrites, not all, but it's very difficult to find a just and a legitly authentic Black church in America. And the best bet to find one is to find the one that's not not all about the money. Find the one that's, looks like a poor building. You'll probably find the best message in those churches versus trying to go to church to get laid and go to those mega churches and get the women. Like, if you go to the church where all the women are at, more than likely you're not getting the message that you're supposed to be getting.
I got you. So, okay, so I definitely see that. So, okay, so all right. So let's say I'll tell you, okay, cool. You have the opportunity, right? I'm gonna give you, I'll give you $20 million, right? And I say, Mr. Washington, here's your 20 million. You know what I mean? Use it however you can to help the community, right? Whatever resources you want to put into it, go ahead and use it, right? You know what I mean? And I would say you can keep, because in a lifetime they said we're gonna need about 5 million to I guess in our lifetime, or 7 million or whatever. I'll say, I'll be generous. I'll let you have 9 million to yourself, right? So you have 11 million to do something in the community, right? What would you do with that 11 million?
The first thing I honestly would do, I would go to Philadelphia or Utah and try to find out how I can get cheap land and align myself with either the Amish community or the Mormon community. And what I think would be best is to start a community of Black people who, they're not necessarily Amish or Mormon, but they follow their code of how they live. And what I mean by that is that they're self-sufficient. They're building villages. They even have their own kind of religion that the government can't impede on. And once you have your own kind of religion, then the government is really hands off. And I think that Black people in general I would build something where it's like we find our original religion, and I would find it would be a mixture of Christianity, because that's what a lot of people's codes are, but it would also be a mixture of indigenous religion, which was, I believe, our original religion. And so I would do that, have land, and again, start small so people can see it, because Black people got to see it before they want to join it. So if you have a land community of about 100 people and it's prosperous, it's working, and it's not cult looking, it's not everyone getting their fuck on us, no nature boy stuff. It's really the men there trying to have a different code sexually, everything, and the women trying to have a different mentality too about raising their children. So that would be what I would do with that 11 million, is to try to set up some land and honestly learn how to be self-sufficient from the Amish people or the Mormons, and then from there, let it grow. And there are many places in America where you can go and get cheap land. It's just that a lot of people don't want to go to those places. So once we learned how to do the system, then it's like, okay, now we can go to Mississippi and do the same thing and set up something there where nobody wants to go. Now we can go to Alabama. Now we can go to Idaho. Now we can go to North Dakota. And I think that that's the way to kind of get outside the box, to start actually rebuilding the community into something positive. We have to get out of these infrastructures of cities. We have to get away from these matrix batteries and get back to nature and being self-sufficient and loving each other as people and souls again, versus what you can do for me, monetarily or capitalistic wise.
Man, I do kind of like the city life though a little bit. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I do get what
Of
you're
course, it's
saying.
temptation. Hey, the city life is everything that's good for you is not always good. Hey, I love a pound cake. It's not good for you. There's most of the things that we love
definitely not good for you,
are
right?
not good for us, So I think that's what we kind of need. I think we need a detox away from all the things that we think are good for us, just for a few years. And then as we've kind of weaned off of it, then we can slowly maybe get some of it back. But I really do believe we need a massive detox from what America has been giving us for the last, hundreds of years, and try to rebuild, if that makes sense, in a way that, again, is completely opposite of capitalism. Because if you look at capitalism, everything that we're doing as a community negative is money based. And so if as a Black community, if we just completely rejected our love of the dollar, and all we're trying to do is just simply survive and live and have happiness outside of the dollar, we would actually be so much better off if we stopped fighting each other over the dollar. We stopped killing each other over the dollar. We stopped using the dollar to intrigue the women that we want. Lose the dollar completely. Then who are we? Who are we as a Black man? Who are you without your big dick or whatever? Like what if you lost your dick? Like, who are you? Are you a nobody now? Same thing for women. What if you got an accident, acid hit your face, and all of a sudden you're not pretty anymore? And then who are you? Are you still a valuable person? Is your soul still valuable, or are you now just you don't know what to do because your facade has been destroyed?
Wow. I want to give a shout out to my sister Ruby Doll. Ruby Doll, what's going on? Glad to see you up in the building. Much love to you as well.
And I definitely want to say what's up to Embrace. I can't wait to get on a live with Embrace. Man, I don't know. I think you were on the live yesterday. She was cooking on Black Man Unfiltered. And I was just like, oh my God, it was amazing. So,
I know Grace has been kind of busy, man. She works a lot, man. Salute to Grace. You know what I mean? I know she shouted you out. You know what I mean? Yeah, she said good afternoon, Jason. You know what I mean? So she definitely gave you a shout out. Yeah, she'll definitely, when she go live, she'll definitely have you on. I think she's about to try to do a new format pretty soon. I can't give out that information, but yeah, I think she's about to try to do something real soon, pretty quickly. But shout out to Grace, man. Much love to the sister.
But let me ask you a question real quick.
Yeah, actually, whatever.
Okay, what if you could pick one thing that you would think would spark a positive movement for men, fixing or like. Because you can't even get men in general to even go to the doctor, they're scared to get their prostate checked. Like what would be the one thing you think that you could say, hey, men, this is something that we need to do that will help us mentally in the big picture? What would it be for you? Would it be the return to the church? Would it be going to certain therapies? What would be like one thing where you're like, hey, men, hear me now. If we do this, it's going to yield nothing but positive results.
It would be like a men's healing center, but it would be like a real healing center. You know what I mean? Not that old fake community center garbage, but they're like a basketball court in the back. And they have like
domino corner,
and they send kids to like water parks and all that, which is helpful. Okay, so I'm not knocking community centers, all right? So let me reframe my statement. Okay, that is helpful, but we need more than that when it comes to men, right? And Catalina says she's like what you're saying. So salute to the sister. I'm glad that she's enjoying the content. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully I didn't butcher your name, sis. My bad if I did. That's my New York. But yeah, I would start a men's resource center, a real resource center where we can actually go and talk about the things that's really going on with us, but not just talk about it, but get the resources to help, whether it's therapy, whether it's going to a church, whether it's going to a mosque, whether it's going to a Buddhist temple, whatever. If you're Jewish and Black, whatever you need, whatever you follow, even if you don't believe in a God or you believe in something else, whatever it is, we'll have the resources to meet you in your lifestyle, right? And actually have the solutions there to actually help you. You know what I'm saying? And because a lot of times, people will give you a lot of word service, but we don't have centers that are there, right, that actually really will help. Okay, cool. I listened to, Broden told me his problems. He done told me he needed money. He needed these amount of resources. He needed this, he needed that. Okay, cool. Now let me help him with that. I done heard what he said, right? He said he wants to work, or he said he needs this, or he said he needs that. Let me give him the resources for what he needs, and basically what he's telling me, right? Because if we know we got a safe space, no pun intended to Deja, salute to her. If we know we have a safe space, right? We know that look, I could talk about A through Z, right, and not be judged, right? We know that, hey, look, I if I'm feeling this way and I'm thinking about this, I could talk about it and I feel safe. And now once I feel safe and you provide the resources that I need, oh, we good. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
because as men, I think even as people of color, period, even our women are a lot of times forced to be logical. You know what I mean? A lot more logical than really anybody else because it's a tool of survival. If we're not logical, we up out of here. We know that. So we know if you get pulled over, by the law, right? You know to not say or do certain things. To keep, to comply and follow regulations, or else you can basically lose your life, right? We know that
Do
from
you think
dealing
that?
with
Do
the
you
law.
think there's a majority? We know that because I think this is one of those things with eight. Because I'm 40, and I think people like myself and maybe you remember the time when cops didn't have body cams, so we were taught
Yeah,
to comply because, again, but I think the new generation of black people don't have that code, and I see a lot of times men
you talking
handle
about like the
themselves.
youngsters?
Yeah, or even not even the people now who are our age, they've forgotten that code. So I see a lot of people talking too much when the police deal with them. I see many times people incriminating themselves because they're so emotional and they got to talk and "Hey, you can't treat me. And it's like, yo, uh, when somebody has that kind of power and they have power to put you in prison and jail and make some sort of narrative, and all of a sudden, if you're there for 2 weeks, you might be psychotic afterward. Like they have the power to change your life. So my papa always told me, comply, do everything you got to do to make the interaction in a positive way where you're coming home. Whatever that looks like, whatever it is, don't over explain yourself, don't talk too much, and just shut up and let whatever happen happen. But I think the people now that there's so much anger towards the police that they don't want to do that and they want to shout, my rights, my rights, my rights. And I think that a lot of them have made things worse for themselves with that mentality.
Who? I think yes. I think you will see some people being rebellious. So salute to Mr. Bryant. Know what I mean? Much love to you. Peace, joy, and grace and abundance to you as well, sir. Know what I mean? We'll definitely be speaking later. Um, but yeah, I definitely see that, family. I see where we can't have, some of us do have a rebellious attitude, but I think also there is some of us who don't, right? Like you said, me and you kind of know not to do that. We kind of know not to move in that vibration. You know what I'm saying? And we kind of know like the ills of moving that way. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I mean? Like that's a big thing. So we just got to keep certain things in mind, man. You know what I'm saying? I think, like I said, that's what I would do if you allow me to help men, right? Or you allow me to help our people, period. You know what I mean? Whether it's men, women, kids, whoever. If you allow me to help us, period, that's what I would do. You know what I mean? Because a lot of us who are living in the inner city or urban communities, there's a lot of things going on that traumatizes us, that just shapes our impact on society. And also, what I would do too is I would do free trips for our people to see other places, right? So I would have the people that are in impoverished communities, whether, especially the ones that, have not ever been out of their community, man, take them somewhere else. Let them see some nature, right? Like you talk about nature, right? Let them see some nature. Let them see a different city. You know what I mean? Let them see, what fishing is. You know what I mean? Let them swim, not just a community pool, but actually real water, right? Salt water, right? Like allow them to experience real life things. You know what I mean? So I would
Yeah,
take our
exactly.
people and allow us to experience things outside of what we see, whether it's another city, whether it's another state, whatever, right? Because those things will also impact when you travel, and you know this, bro, because you travel just like me, right? When you travel, when you go in different places, it basically opens your mind up to bigger things. It gives you a bigger view on life, right? So I think our people need to do that, and even as my, let's say my foundation grows, right? I can start sending people overseas. I can start sending brothers and sisters, to experience things overseas, or to go to somewhere, or maybe I could have the Olympics that just passed. I could have sent about 7 to 10 brothers and sisters to the Olympics just to see it, right? Or 7 to 10 kids to the Olympics just to see it. right? But I don't have those money and resources. I don't. You know what I'm saying? But if I did, that's what I would do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I think we have to rewrite what the black code or culture is. Because like everyone says, like, oh, like black people don't swim, black people don't camp. Like that's now part of our culture. But in reality, black people were always swimming in the past, and black people were always camping in the past. Like we are nature's people. But now, like white supremacy and capitalism has tricked us into thinking, like, oh, now it's the opposite. Like, oh, but you can't, don't swim. We're supposed to be water people. We're supposed to be a people that's like by the ocean. I mean, but all the things that are now part of white culture, and guns and hunting and all those things that are synonymous with white culture, that was black culture for a while. But we forgot all of that. It was us that were hunting. It was us that were, fasting and doing all these things. It was us that were doing all the outdoor stuff. It was us who were navigating the oceans, but they hid that from us, and they now have got us thinking like, oh, well, all we now are is just walking consumers, and everything that is told from society, from black people and white supremacy, is saying do nothing. Make sure you're consuming. Make sure you're doing something that's pouring into the system, and make sure you're spending it and live it up. Spend it, trick it. And that's why I think we have to take a step back and say, okay, what do we want the black community to look like 3 generations from now? And if we don't do something now to completely expedite the chaos and the idiocracy that we're going towards, then it's going to be too late.
Wow. Salute to my brother Roldo the Ruler. Salute, salute, salute. What's going on, Roldo? Good to see you in the building, bro. You know what I mean?
And I did want to say this one thing. I did want to say, because I like the idea, but I'll make this quick. When you have that kind of a center that you were saying, for a men's health center, we have to have women there, because women are natural healers. But unfortunately, a lot of our women have been educated in the college system from, white supremacy and what the white system wants them to think. We have to get women who are healers, but like almost like the Crystal Sisters, almost, or the women who know how to listen. And this is one of the ways that I vet women. When I'm talking to women, I ask them like, hey, do you know what any of the men in your side of the family are like, kind of struggling with, like your brothers, maybe dealing with, not seeing his kids, or your uncle. And if women don't really understand any men on their side of the family and their struggles with women or with life or with everything, if they're completely naive to that, then I know not to date them or take them serious. Because if they don't have that sort of empathy, or will give the time to their own brothers or cousins or uncles to, let them vent about, what the court system has done to them or what the world has done to them. If they can't heal the men in their family, then there's no way she'll heal me.
Wow, and I think that is true across the board. I think what our people, we got to get out of certain mentalities, man. Certain I would call them deletion cultures, whether it's gang culture, whether it's ratchetness, whether it's whatever, right? Whether it's us trying to be rappers or strippers or whatever else we're trying to be, right? You know what I mean? Or just athletes, or we all think we got to turn up. Like, nah, we gotta get away from those things completely. You know what I mean? Ruby Doll said, great point. Jason, definitely. So I have 5 brothers and they don't really express what's going on with them. And that's a problem, right? That's a problem. We're not expressing what's really going on with us, right? We're not really talking about what's really bothering us. You know what I mean? What's really affecting us, what's really causing us to feel the things that we feel. We're not having those conversations. You know what I mean?
Like, do you have who's the woman in your family that you can vent to and talk to about the things that hurt your heart? Do you have a woman in your family, like a little cousin, or is there any women in your immediate family that can take, or you can honestly be honest with and talk to them about it, and they won't gossip it with their friends, they won't turn it back to you in an argument, where they honestly are empathetic and just want to hear what's going on with you? I don't think that many men have that.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think across the board, it's not something. He has a best friend. LOL. Yes, Ruby Doll. We know
besides your mama, right? What other woman, besides your mother? What other woman, for the majority of black men, can they speak to and get some clarity, get that off?
I think that when it comes to openness, right? Openness in our community, like you said, because we're so focused on capitalism as a community, right? I think transparency and openness, right? Like that is something that is looked at as a level of weakness, right? Us crying or us saying that something is bothering us or whatever. It's like, nah, man, go get money. You know what I'm saying? I think he'll be back. I think he's having some technical issue. Let me see. Oh, okay. He says it's raining. All right, but you had a question for me. You said, do you think that men find as a weakness to express to a woman? I'll answer the question for him. I don't think. Nah, if a man really, if a man is, I would say if a man is or a human being, right? Because I don't really kind of go by gender. I just go by human beings or adults being adults. I think a mature human being is going to express how they feel, right? In an environment that is trustworthy. You know what I'm saying? So if the environment's not trustworthy, then yeah, expressing yourself is not the best option, right? Because I need to run home and I can come back. Definitely. Might still be on. I don't know, but I think I might still be on. Um, but with that being said, I think that as adults, you know what I mean, when we find a space that we know is a safe space, right? You know what I mean, and a space that we know that can provide something that is good for us or can provide a place where we know we can actually be helped, then yeah, we'll expose everything. We'll talk about how we feel weak and what's going on with us or whatever. Men will get rid of that bravado. Even women will get rid of their pride, right? Or they'll get rid of that I don't need a man attitude, right? Salute to my sister 12th Street Talkback. Much love to you, sis. I'm glad that you definitely are here. You know what I mean? Definitely enjoying the conversation. Listen, everybody who is tuned in, please subscribe to all the content creators up here. All right? 12th Street Talkback. I don't know if Sister Catalia has a channel. If she does, subscribe to it. I don't know if the brother Jason Washington has a channel. If he does, subscribe to his channel as well. Ruby Doll, of course. You know what I mean? Say he's almost home. Okay. All right. Ruby Doll, she has her channel as well. So she has multiple channels. She has her regular channel, with her doing her music and things of that nature. And she has Mother of Sex Marijuana with her and Kaya Storm. Definitely, support these sisters and definitely lift them up, man, and show them love, all right? Okay, it's called What the WT Funk is this? Okay. Got it. That's his channel, y'all. So make sure y'all tune into WT Funk is this, all right? And Toshi Talkback said, I actually was just putting something together for a guest of mine. I was going to invite you. Oh, wow, I appreciate that. Thank you, sis. Definitely. I would love to be a part of it. And I definitely, definitely do as much as I can to, really, really give my heart and really show love to your platform. And I'm honored that you even thought of me. For real, for real. Yep, motherhoudsexmarijuana.com. Definitely check her out. Thank you, MB. Oh, you already know, sis. You already know. You ain't got to think. You know how to get down. You know how we get down. All right? But this is my thing, man. At the end of the day, we just have to just really understand that, as human beings, right? We're going to go through different things that are going to take us through different experiences, right? And in those experiences, we have to be patient, right? So I think to get people to open up more, right, and to get people to open up about how they really feel, we got to create those environments. And also, not just that, right? We also got to be able to, if we're going to tell somebody to change, because this is the one thing that gets me, right? We'll give somebody a billion things to change. Change this, change that, blah, 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 do this, do that. And we don't provide no resources, no help, no nothing, right? But we can critique everything they're doing. We got to stop doing that. You know what I mean? If I can't help a situation, I don't really want to talk about the situation, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? But if I can help, I try to do as much as I can, right? And when somebody doesn't want my help or they have decided to do whatever they want to do, fine. You know what I mean? Whatever somebody decides to do, I'm cool with it. You know what I mean? I'm not mad at what anybody's trying to do or, when anybody wants to do, you know what I mean? Whether it's personal, social media, whatever, I'm cool with what everybody wants to do, man. I'm good. I just want to make and do the things that I want to do and build with the people that want to build with me and get the help that I need for myself and for others who really want to get help and who really want to be at their best. That's it. You know what I mean? Everything else to me, I don't even focus on it because it's a distraction and it's negative. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? And it's just something that doesn't allow me to grow, allow others to grow, if you understand what I'm saying. Definitely salute to 12th Street Talk Back. Make sure you follow her on YouTube. Okay, that is the link to her channel. Please click it, please follow it. You know what I mean? Please just show support. Then here says 100. Definitely. Then here, let me see if you, I think you are on my channel. If you are, I'm going to give you a wrench. You know what I mean? So if you've been supporting, I totally appreciate that. Hold on, let me see. Oh, I don't see you in my chat. Okay, you in Grace chat. Okay. So I can't give you a wrench because you're in her chat. My bad, man. If you was in my chat, I definitely would give you a wrench for sure. But yeah, y'all. So, with that being said, as we're going through our process and we're dealing with anxiety, depression, or we're thinking about, or we're thinking about different things, or we're going through grief, right? You know what I'm saying? We're going through these different things. We have to provide, especially if we care about somebody, we have to provide a way for them to feel safe, right? That is the biggest thing. Provide a way for them to feel safe. And if you can't handle whatever they're saying, tell them. You know what I mean? Hey, look, I can't handle this. You know what I mean? I can't deal with this. I don't know how to help you. Sometimes the best help is no help. You know what I mean? That's sometimes the best help. If you don't know how to handle a situation, tell somebody. I don't know how to handle a situation, so-and-so. I love you, but I don't know what to do. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how to help. You know what I mean? He said, I'll sub to you too. Found this from the last video about. Oh, okay. I don't know what video that was, but yeah, I don't know what video that was. But salute to, you said video about. Oh, yeah, I don't know what that video was, but I'll drop the channel link for you. All right, family, give me a second. And I think that's Kai Storm in the building. If it is, salute to her. Salute to her as well. All right. Now, me, my little Sex Marijuana family is in the building. Salute to them. And definitely salute to my sister D Liberian. You know what I mean? Checking me out on IG. Thank you, family. I appreciate you. But let me put my link in the chat for anybody who wants to subscribe to the channel. All right. Who want to show some love. I definitely will appreciate it. You know what I mean? Let me do this. Let me go and let me see. Hold on. Okay, I got it. Boom. Technology, man. Technology, man. Okay. That was on Grace channel. Been here, right? That wasn't on my channel. That was on Grace channel. So that was on last night's show. But yeah. So I'm reading. Okay. Sister 12th Street Talkback said, I was just there this morning. Grief is missing my mother and my sister. Sometimes it doesn't matter how long it's been. You miss the ones close to you. That's another thing. Grief does not have a timeline. All right? And it shouldn't be given a timeline. Don't tell somebody they need to get over something. That's the worst thing you can tell them. All right? Don't tell somebody they should have got over it by now, or why does it bother you? Don't tell people that. If you're not understanding or you don't agree with how they're grieving, cool. All right? That's okay. Just like I said, sometimes the best help is no help. All right? If you're not able to help, or you feel like they should be over it, and you feel like things should be a certain way or whatever, hey, leave that, keep that to yourself. Because that person doesn't need that, to be honest with you. Right? The channel link is in the chat. All right, you guys can subscribe from there. All right, that's the link for the channel. All right. And Catalina says, hi, I've been here. Thanks for being here. I see you are new to the channel. Please make sure you to subscribe and hit the notification. Thank you. Appreciate that, Catalina. I appreciate you, sister. Much love. So, okay, subbing now. I appreciate that too, bro. Definitely. Says you're welcome. And then Brother Ben here says, greetings. Sorry about that, y'all. It's allergies. It's that time of year. I think he's in the chat. And if he is, let me Let me give him a wrench real quick. Okay, yeah, I see you, bro. I got you. All right, make you a mod. Boom. There you go. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, like I was saying, man, sometimes the best, oh, okay, there she go. Sis D Liberia in the building. Sis, if you want to come up, I'm gonna drop the link again. So anybody want to come up and share their perspective on this? Hey, I'm willing to hear it. All right. You know what I mean? I'm willing to hear all perspectives. You know what I mean? I'm willing to hear what anybody got to say, and all perspectives will be respected. You know how I get down. You know I give it up, right? So, thank you, sister. I appreciate you. I definitely appreciate you. Definitely appreciate you. Thank you for the love. I definitely appreciate it. For real, for real. But my thing is this, right? Sometimes, you know, if you don't understand somebody's grief or what they're going through, the best thing to do, right, is just to let them be. It says, I'm gonna give you your wrench too, Catalina. I got you right now. But if you don't know how to help somebody through their grief, or you don't understand it, the best thing to do is just to let them, you know, try to direct them in the path of somebody who can actually really help them. Because you're probably not the one. You know what I mean? You're probably not the person to help them, and you're probably not the person that they need to hear from at the moment, right? And it's not because, you know, that you're heartless or you're a monster, whatever. No, it's not because of that. Some things we can't handle. We're human, right? There's certain things that I cannot handle, right? There's certain things that if you tell me, I can't help you through it. Know what I mean? And it's not because I don't care. It's not because of anything else. It's because I may not have the experience to really deal with that, right? I may not have the experience to deal with somebody who is going through a great situation. If it's just going through a great situation, I may not have the tools to help her through that. You know what I mean? I could find those tools. I could find women for her to talk to who've gone through abuse and things of that nature. But I'm not a woman, right? So I don't understand what her emotions are. I don't understand none of that. Because that's not happening to me as a man. So I don't understand. And it's okay I don't understand, right? My thing is to not being sensitive, right? And to try to self-medicate or to try to tell her how to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? If I have no way of giving her any type of help, you know what I'm saying, that will actually help. Like I said, sometimes the best help is not even saying anything at all. You know what I mean? Or just redirecting a person. That sometimes is the best help, right? But man, with that being said, family, you know what I mean? I don't want to be long-winded on this thing, man. I like to make my points and keep it pushing. You know what I mean? I like to say what I got to say and keep it pushing. You know, I will give, 5 minutes. You know what I mean? Because Jason said he was coming back. Oh, good evening to my sister. You know what I mean? From South Africa, Kimberly KMA. You know what I mean? Salute to you, sis. Much love. You already know what it is. You know what I mean? So I will give 5 minutes. Anybody want to come up, share their perspective? I'm going to give 5 minutes, right? About is anxiety, grief, and depression deleting our community. I'm going to give 5 minutes. Anybody want to come up? Come up. After 5 minutes, I'm definitely closing out. All right, I'm about to give me some Z's. You know what I mean? And about to really relax and fall back. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, like that is the basis of the conversation. I really want to talk about how I feel like these things are slowly but surely chopping away at our community. You know what I mean? Because we're not a lot of times we're not given the resources, and a lot of times we don't know where to find the resources. And definitely, you're welcome, sister. You know what I mean? Much love. You know what I'm saying? And anybody, feel free, even after the videos drop, feel free to share whatever you want to share. You know what I mean? After the videos drop. And man, y'all been leaving a lot of comments under a lot of videos, and I'm trying to get to them, but it's hard. All right, because like I said, I got a lot of stuff going on family wise, so I'm not able to get to everything. You know what I mean? So please understand that. Please understand. I'm going through my grieving process. I'm going through my process of just dealing with certain things. So, definitely, man. You know what I mean? Please just give me that time and allow me to go through the process. And little by little, I'll get to the comments. Salute to my main man, Chicago Rilla. I thought Chicago Rilla had a wrench. And really, if I didn't give you a wrench, I'm definitely gonna give you one now. I thought you had one, and if you didn't have one, I'm gonna be very surprised and disappointed in myself. Oh, you don't have a wrench. Oh, how did I miss that? Okay. Add as a moderator. I got you. I got you, Willa. Boom. Here you go. Somebody just came up too. I just heard the beep. Oh, woo. Okay, we got a heavy hitter in the building. No, I mean I'm definitely gonna mute my mic and hear everything she got to say. You know what I'm saying? Really love you, man. I'm glad you definitely showed up and you definitely came through. Salute to Travel One as well. To answer your question, Mr. Bryant, he's doing well. He's just taking a little bit of a break from social media, but he definitely be back real soon. He's probably gonna come back in November with me. All right, me and him three probably come back at the same time. All right. Got my sister D Berry in the building too. Got some heavy hitters in the building. Okay, got my sisters coming and representing. All right. Let me take my timer down. The timer's going away now because y'all up here, all right? And I'm excited that y'all here. So, Sister 12th Street Talk Night, aka Mrs. Victoria Johnson, right? You know, I'm definitely gonna show the respect. What do you think about the topic, and how do you think, like, just what do you think overall, and what can help us overall with dealing with anxiety, grief, and depression?
You know, uh, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
I was just dealing with that this morning, out of the blue. Uh, I just woke up with a lot of things on my mind. As you know, I am very spiritual, especially with my walk with Christ. But you just have those days where you had those certain people. My mom was my best friend, my sister was my best friend. And when you go through things in life, you want to be able to reach out to the ones that you can trust. And I woke up with that on my heart. And as I began to think about it, I said, this happens several times every year. There's a moment in time where I'm missing the ones that I can talk to the most, the ones that I know have my back, the ones that I can tell anything to and not going to be ridiculed or uh, it's not going to go anywhere. And I started to think about that in the grief forum. One of my best friends just lost her mother and she's having a hard time with it. And we decided to be each other's comfort. Even though mine has been a couple of years, there's nothing like having that loved one that you trust, that you know that always has your back, and then trying to be a support system for someone else and identify with what they're going through. And this morning, it was just one of those days. I got up to pray, and I know God is there, but it still was the feeling of not having someone to pick up the phone to talk to or wrap their arms around me and tell me whatever situation I was going through, it was going to be okay. And as we speak right now, I'm a go-getter. I decided to just stay in bed today. And I'm asking myself, what is that all about, Victoria? You're not motivated. And it's just one of those days where I've been missing my mom or missing my sister or both, or either one or other, that I can pick up the phone and just have that trust to be able to reach out to them. So as I'm scrolling through social media, I saw that you were on and the topic, and I had just reached out to one of my last guests. Last year, he had asked me to put together something for mental health, and I had just emailed him, and Lord and behold, here you go on the conversation. So this was a blessing for me today.
Wow. Wow, family. Thank you for sharing that. I'm even honored of you being up here. Like, definitely. And thank you for your praise and your love. I seen that you share that in our group. And I definitely appreciate that. Definitely. You know what I mean? Thank you for always showing me love and showing my family love. I truly appreciate that.
You're most
Um,
welcome.
man, that was heavy what you shared. It got me really thinking about a lot, for real, for real. Um, Sister
It
D
is.
Liberian. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, sister. What you gonna say?
Go ahead. I was going to just say it is. I mean, anybody that listens to my show, they know I have more than one sister and one brother. And sometimes you're tight with the ones that you're tight with. And unfortunately, I'm not tight with the rest of them. And I have a large family. And sometimes it seems like, I am the black sheep. And I don't feel that comfortable talking to them about certain things. So I was kind of like sitting here saying, Victoria, what are you going to do? Who are you going to talk to? And that's going to talk back besides Jesus. So, it was great to tap into this conversation of what you got going on. And it kind of actually lifts my spirits. And I say God is an on-time God.
Definitely. So we go to our brother Raldo the Ruler, because Sister D Liberian, says she says she needs a minute. So definitely, whenever she's ready, she will share. All right. Raldo, bro, what you think, man? Is anxiety, grief, and depression deleting our community? And what can we do to solve it, brother?
I just think, just like I said, have a heart for one another, and first and foremost, thank you for having me on. First and foremost, just having a heart for one another and realize that we ourselves go through situations, so there ain't no big I's and little U's, and that's really why I think transparency is transparent. And sometimes it could be to a fault. I don't know, but really I don't care, because when you have reached that point of brokenness, right, or whatever before, when you're judged by others and everything, there's no other lower place that I could possibly go. So now I'm so bold with it and be helping other people. Sometimes you get DMs on the back end like, wow, thank you, I needed that. Or you get a phone call later on saying, man, you said some real stuff on that line. And that's really why we just got to have a heart for one another and be transparent, man, as much as you can, without feeling like, you're putting too much information out. Because some people will use information against you, but I think that's one of the things that we can do, because it's something about when we relate to one another that we can start breaking those chains, because people feel trapped sometimes, right? And then we got to also start encouraging that, if you go to a counselor and you seek professional help, that doesn't mean that you're weak. You just get another expert's opinion, because that's what they're supposed to be trained and go to school for. And if you don't value the opinion of that one counselor or whatever, there are others that you can get. You see what I'm saying? You don't have to be stuck with them. And so we gotta just start encouraging that love of God for one, and then the humanly love to go underneath that, And so that's what I have to say about that, because it's been a rough month for me, actually, going through transition, moving, and then also as well, this is the month that my mom had passed, August the 29th. So, you start feeling like, dang, man, look, when holidays come around, I don't got nowhere to go. I have to make my own holidays and everything. You see what I'm saying? So I think about those things, and it must come. And normally I'll eat, but I said, you know what? I'm taking charge of my health, and I'm going to build my wealth and everything, and I'm going to stop. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to channel within me. I'm going to channel within me and God. So every morning I got to make sure purposely, say my thanks, give my gratitude to Most High, sit and reflect, and see how can I be a better person today than yesterday. And that's all.
I just want to say, Raldo, man, thank you for sharing that, bro. Man, continue to be as transparent as possible, man. And yes, at times we all need to use discernment. So yeah, at times, yeah, you will use discernment in what you share. As we all do. Because you said sometimes people use things against you. And we know, the enemy is present, man. But God is stronger than the enemy, and God is phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? So we got to remember that. You know what I mean? And no weapon formed against us will prosper. Point blank, period. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Bryant says, Thou wilt him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee, because he trusteth in thee. Trust ye in the Lord forever, for in the Lord Jehovah is everlasting strength. Definitely, definitely, definitely. You know what I'm saying? We got to remember our strength comes from God, not from man, not from anybody else. You know what I mean? And I know we wrestle with that. I wrestle with that too. Sometimes I want to do things my own way. It is what it is. I'm a human being. You know what I mean? So, like I'm not perfect at this at all. All right? I have my weaknesses just like anybody else. I have my carnal nature just like anybody else. Just spend time daily in God's word is my therapy. His word is my medicine. Definitely, definitely. So with that being said, and and I want to say this too, brother Robert, right? Hmm. You know what I mean? As a brother, definitely, man. I'm always gonna love you and support you, man. Even at times, and I want people to understand it. Cause I'm not just saying this to Ronald. I'm saying this to everybody, right? But Ronald just shared, so that's what my energy is kind of directed towards him. But overall, with anybody, right? We're not gonna always agree on each other's perspective, right? Sometimes we're gonna see things differently. You know what I mean? That's just how it is. In life, we're gonna see things one way, or we're gonna think one way, or whatever, right? That's just life. We're not gonna always see things a certain way, and that's fine. We don't always have to agree, but to be disagreeable or to call each other out each other's names or whatever, that's not necessary. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we got to get better at. Especially if somebody, if we seeing that somebody really ain't, they trying to really not really be on a type of time with us or whatever the case may be, man. What I do if I see somebody ain't really returning my phone calls or replying back, I just leave people alone. I'm like, all right, cool. I guess they don't want to be bothered, or they going through whatever they need to go through.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's a big thing. We got to learn how to let people just be, right? Especially if they are not being around you peacefully, right? A lot of people when they leave, sometimes they could be destructive or they could be saying different things about you, whatever. And even with family, right? Family member can leave and they can be destructive, man. They can be breaking stuff and breaking TVs and all that type of stuff. You're like, what's going on, right? But man, if somebody leaves peacefully from the situation, let that person leave peacefully and let that person be, man. And for everybody that has lost somebody, man, within this month, even within this year, look, man, I send my condolences to everyone. I send my condolences to Sister 12th Street, Brother Rondo. I know Sister D. Liberia hasn't shared anything, but I'll send my condolences to her if she has anybody she's thinking of as well. Anybody that has gone through whatever, I send my condolences to those in the chat. And whoever else who has gone through different things or who has gone through grief, man, I definitely send my condolences and my love to y'all. And thank y'all for sending that back to me because I definitely need it and I definitely receive it. But yeah, I seen Sister D. Liberians come off mute. I'm gonna mute my mic. I'm gonna let her share.
Well, real quick, can you hear me well, y'all?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good, because I got to make sure these YouTube are working now. One more question. Um, I know what I would like to say, but can you tell me the topic again so that I can be sure to touch on that? Hello? Can y'all hear me?
You kind of have some background noise, but I can hear you.
Yeah, I'm in a hotel right now. That's where I'm at. I hope it's not too loud. But I was asking, can you tell me what the topic is again before I answer?
So is anxiety, grief, and depression deleting our community? Is it causing our community to fall apart? You know what I mean? Because we're not getting the resources, we're not getting the help, we're not getting anything that's really, really helping us. You know what I'm saying? And is that causing, our community just to completely fall apart? Because we're not dealing with our anxiety, our grief, or our depression, right? So that was the question. And if we aren't, or if you feel like we are, right? No, I mean, whatever you feel, in what ways can we actually be better, or are we able to make strides to be better, right? So that's the question.
Okay. Okay. So I do have a response, but when it comes to topics like this, I don't like to speak on anybody or people as a whole if I don't know much. And then when you speak of these types of things, in order to answer that question, you would have to obtain the perspective of all of these people, because you have to find out what mitigating circumstances or circumstantial evidence whatever term y'all want to use to, you know what I'm saying, describe it, because a lot of people are suffering in many different ways. So, but I do know that there's a stigma attached to having mental health issues, and more people have mental health issues than they care to admit, and especially in certain types of communities, rather than being receptive to these things and paying attention to attitudes and behaviors that contribute to that. And people are always talking about their feelings, but they're not realizing that a lot of them, they ridicule and shame people who tend to be transparent and vulnerable. And transparency can cover a range of things, and that can, transparency can cover the vulnerability. But when people do that, they get ridiculed. Look at celebrities, what happens to a lot of men that express when they're having, emotional or mental health issues, and then society tears them down. Let anybody express frustration of any kind, and then people want to tell them they're being negative or crazy, but this person is agitated. You need to find out why, And if I had to contribute any other factors to it from the decades worth of research that I have, and delving into the comments of viral posts, my own personal experiences, things that people have said to me, things that I've read, things from Dr. Jordan Peterson and Dr. Phil, like when you look at it, it's even in the Bible. It's so funny. I can't remember which scripture it is, where to find it, but it basically asks, like, what causes quarrels amongst you? And then basically, I'm paraphrasing right here, is basically pointing out the opinions. People's and opinions. Now, I just find this to be so ironic that we talk, that there's so many things that people, pieces of wisdom that people have about minding your business, and it seems to be the one thing that people can't do because they always have an opinion about someone else's life. It's crazy. So I believe that an overwhelming majority of conflict is a result of simple misunderstandings, which contributes to the anxiety and other mental health issues that people have, because there's always someone always trying to tell someone else what to do, always trying to manipulate, always trying to control. There's always somebody trying to get somebody's way, someone trying to be superior over another, dominate, all of these different things. And what do you think happens to a person when you back that person in a corner and you keep, because people do it to me all the time. Every time I turn around, somebody trying to tell me what to do, how to be, how to think, how to act, how to dress. I should be doing this, I should be doing that. Why are you writing that? Why are you talking on this? That's negative. I don't care what y'all got going. I'm not doing anything that's disrupting anybody else's life, but I'm one person. All of us are just one person sharing the world with billions of people. And just imagine if you come across hundreds of them in a day, and everybody feels the need to tell you what to do. Do you understand what happens to a person's psyche after that? That's what gives you anxiety, or at least it did it to me and a bunch of other people. And then people try to fight to defend their opinion so hard when they fail to realize. You stop and listen and see how many people out there in society, whether they're successful, like whether they're a celebrity, a public figure, a business owner, artist, or whatever, and see how many of those people advise everybody else to forget everybody else's opinion. Well, they use more colorful language than that, but I'm just saying, they all do that. You know what I'm saying? They tell people that, what I'm trying to say, y'all trying to say the background noise is that loud? But
No, I think, but everybody has a different mic. I can hear you. I hear a little bit of background noise, but I can hear exactly what you're saying though. So I hear you that
okay, that's good.
what you're expressing.
That's good. But yes, that's where I was getting at. I personally believe, from all of my observations and research and personal experience, that an overwhelming majority of anyone's anxiety, mental health issues are a result of being around other people, because they're constantly traumatized. A lot of us have bad nerves. That's what the old people say, bad nerves. A bunch of us walking around here with PTSD by way of socializing. And that's all. And then, and I want to go back before I finish with that. This interesting thing about perspective, when you touched on that, I would like to remind people, while I guess in the context in which you use it when you say that you may not agree with someone's perspective, I guess that's for a point of view as far as how a person sees something, like their mindset. I can understand that particular thing when it says agree or disagree. But we also have to, because there's not many, because that's probably the only definition that supports that. Because the rest of those definitions support matters of fact, meaning what a person, a point of view is also what you can see, is whatever you see with your eyesight, and that's usually anything between, you know what I'm saying, anything within that field of vision before your peripherals, and it's also what you conceive in your mind, that's your cognition. So those two things are two different points of views, and the perspective also refers to basically a position, a physical position, or even a position that someone takes on an issue. And then on top of that, what, depending on who a person is in the situation, will affect the point of view of for that person, because the experience is different. Case examples include parent to a child, a superior to someone who is a subordinate, anyone in a position of authority to people who are subordinate to him or her. All of these different
Mm,
things, you know what I'm saying, create different dynamics and relationships. Relationships between siblings, spouses, and co-workers, and all of that. The dynamics of the relationship and the situation has a great impact on the perspective of the person, depending on who he or she is in there. And then there's this quote by C.S. Lewis, and it's the perfect thing about perspective. It says, what you see and what you hear depends a great deal on where you are standing. And it also depends on what kind of person you are. Now, I just gave y'all examples of perspective that when it refers to that word stand, it means a physical position or where you stand on whether you for or against or indifferent on an issue.
so,
That's
so
why I
sister,
said,
let me ask you a question, if I may. Right?
yeah.
How do we allow other people to share their perspectives, right? And whether we agree upon it or not, how do we not get to the point where we are like ready to like like how do you get to the point where you like you have to like, all right, they saying something, I don't like what they saying, I feel like it's a bunch of BS. How do you get to the point where you're not where you are correcting them and you not like completely just chopping that off, right? Because sometimes we tempted to do that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Sometimes we feel like it's necessary, but how do we get to the point where we can have dialogue and not be confrontational with it to the point where it's causing friction, right? We can communicate thoughts, feelings, opinions, and everything else, right? And emotions, right? And we can communicate that without it being confrontational. You know what I'm saying? If we feel like it's gonna get to that point, you know, how do we then cut it off and maybe resume at a different time or maybe not resume at all? You know what I mean? Because that's always an option as well. Because sometimes we don't need to discuss it no further. You feel what you feel, I feel what I feel. Let's move on. You know what I'm saying? Or sometimes we can talk at a different time and space, right? If need be, right? So how do we get to those points? And what would you say? What would you say is helpful to get to those points or get to that place?
Well, first, I'd like to address that if you're having that kind of trouble, you're not dealing with a person's perspective. Or you might be dealing with one person's perspective and the other person is asserting an opinion. Because people only get mad over opinions because they find too much time to defend them. See, one of the main things you have to do is start with the mindset. You should never be having a conversation with anybody when someone is sharing an experience about his or her life or what they went through or how what he or she thinks or feels about a particular situation that affects his or her life. You don't have a right to agree or disagree. The only thing you need to do is sit there and listen and learn. Everybody needs to learn how to put him or herself in check. You don't feel the need like it's like that when I'm talking, because I've gotten to the point where I've had it with people. When I talk to somebody about how I feel about my life, what you think about it doesn't matter to me. If we're having a conversation and you choose to share it and we talk about it, I tell people you better tread carefully when you're talking to people. Because when a person expresses how he or she feels about or sees a particular situation and that person is serious about it, there's something else attached to it. And people be trying to change folks' minds. Stop trying to change people's minds to think the way you think. Stop taking people's perspectives so personally And I know why people do it because they do it to me all the time. They take things personally because if you have a perspective or facts that oppose what someone thinks or feels about something, they tend to guard it. And Dr. Phil and Dr. Jordan Peterson has said this in the 3-hour interview that they had together too. So when two world-renowned psychologists has, basically affirmed my suspicions of something I've been saying forever. I really rest easy in that. Plus, I found it in the Bible scriptures. People need to learn how to check themselves. I don't have opinions about anybody's life. I don't care. I care about their well-being. That's it. I don't have opinions about people's things. What people do for themselves is what they do for themselves. And when you get to the point where you're trying to tell me that I should do the way you think, and that's when people run into problems. That's when you get rejected or opposition, and people get mad because you're telling you can do what you want, but why tell me what to do? I don't have to do as you do. How you do that is simply mind your business. It should never get that. And then when y'all see things are getting escalated, it's too easy to say, okay, I see you feel strongly about that. You know what I'm saying? May I ask why? Because you could always check yourself and calm yourself down and ask that person. That's a part of being emotionally intelligent, being able to recognize that that person is triggered. There's something attached to that. Stop taking things personal, talk it out. You'll be surprised at how people open up when you do things like that. And then since we talk about the word of God, it also says a gentle response turns away wrath. So we can, but I don't know. Everybody doesn't believe in the same thing, so I can't apply that to everybody. Just gonna talk about the people who share that belief, but I imagine anyone else with spiritual belief are probably receiving some of the same instructions. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that. People need to learn how to check themselves. It's really that simple.
Wow. Thank you, sis, for sharing that. Like, I appreciate that. And I think what you're saying is essential. Sometimes our opinion ain't needed. It ain't needed. You know what I mean? We just listen. Just hear me out. I just need you to listen. You know what I mean? I remember I was having a devotional group, and it wasn't going well. People was getting upset. They were going back and forth, and I was like, oh man, what is going on right now, right? Because like I don't really need this, and somebody felt the way about it, and they got upset. They were like, man, I don't feel like, in a devotional group, like you was saying certain things. Now, mind you, we're sharing scriptures and things of that nature, right? So I'm really in the mood to try to focus on God, but it was like they didn't feel supported in the group, and I felt like, man, I want to support them as well, and I want to support everybody else that's in the group. And the thing I was telling them was that, look, man, and sometimes we got to say this, right? Look, you know what I mean? I need you. I need you to listen. I need you to be here. I need you to be present. You know what I mean? Sister Catalina says, being a good listener to me, listening to understand and not to respond. Facts. Good afternoon, my brother Jamal Smalls. What's going on? He said, just passing through, going back to work now. Definitely, man. Thank you for your love and support. I love this brother, man. He's always supporting. You always show love. Thank you for showing love, bro. Appreciate you. But and I was like, bro, I need you. I need you in this devotion. I need you in this group. You know what I mean? I need you to listen to me. I need you to be heard. I need these things from you. You know what I'm saying? And we gotta understand that us being that ear and us listening, right, can feel the need that somebody needs in that moment. Right? They just may need that need in the moment, and we have to be responsive to that. If we say we care about these people, right? If there's somebody you don't care about, yeah, you ain't gotta listen, right? But understand that, let it be known that you don't really care or you don't really want to help, and let that person go find the person that wants to listen that does or actually does care. You know what I'm saying? And everything else can work itself out from there. You know what I mean? But man, this was a great conversation. The black people came up and shared. Oh, go ahead, fam. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I wanted to speak back up on the care part when I was talking about that earlier. I meant when it comes to like care, like the person that has the problem is the one who needs the care. But when you are, because people also need to think about the different delineations of that word as well. It basically means to give no consideration to, or basically that they're saying is they don't care because regardless of what you say, my thing is I care about someone's perspective as it pertains to him or her. or my relationship with you. But when I'm making decisions for myself, no one's input is ever necessary to me. I don't care who you are. If I'm sitting in conversation and I'm sharing some news, like it happens all the time, and I have to stop people dead in their tracks, I don't want to hear it. I'm an artist. I don't want nobody telling me how to write my poems. I don't have no man, no kids. I don't want nobody telling me how to spend my time or my money. I'm going to do what I want to do. I don't want to hear your input. If I want to work this job one day and then change it 2 years later to get some different experience, I don't need nobody telling me why are you doing this and why are you doing that, such and such and such and such. Some people ask questions and that's great because you get to tell them stuff, but sometimes they're not asking because they really want to know. They're asking and assessing in their mind whether or not they think you should be doing it. And then want to tell you something about it. I didn't ask. You know what I'm saying? I cannot deal with people in that regard. It's like my business don't have nothing to do with you. If I'm sharing it with you, I don't want you to tell me how to do it. I don't do this to other people, so I don't want anybody doing it to me. I don't tell anybody how to live their life, how to do nothing. People need to keep their input. You don't always have a right to say something. If you don't want to listen to what the person has to say, then you need to just move on. You know, but when I'm making decisions for myself, nobody's input is welcome unless I ask. That's what I mean when I say I don't care. But if I'm in a situation with you and something happened, you get hurt, but I'm never in that position of doing anything to anybody. You know what I'm saying? So it's like nobody has a right to ever approach me about anything. It doesn't mean that I'm perfect. It just means that I'm dealing with other people. Nobody ever has a right to say anything because I don't be doing nothing. You know? Only problem I got, I wrestle with God with how I deal with my enemies and how I choose to clap back in moments of frustration, you know. But I mean, if the worst thing that people are getting out of me is the F bomb, I think you're getting off pretty good. I told people leave me alone, respect my boundaries. I don't want to hear somebody tell me, but somebody might have an opinion, such stuff. Would and I find it incredibly insulting to my intelligence to think that you raised, I'm not saying you as a person, I'm talking about you in general when I'm dealing with whoever. I find it incredibly insulting for any person to come in my face and think that he or she has some insight into my life or what I want to do that is more valuable than what I have for myself. You don't know what my frame of mind is, how much thought, work, and research I may have put into it, what I may have tried already. You know what I'm saying? Some people just be overzealous. It's not that they're trying to be helpful. They want to assert themselves and feel superior as if they did something so that they can say that, hey, I taught that person how to do that or do whatever. Because someone who is truly willing to help you, they're going to sit back and they're going to observe and they're going to let you draw your own conclusions. All they're going to do is help guide you. They're not going to tell you what to do. But anyway, let me get off my soapbox because this type of topic is pretty personal to me. It is. I don't like limitations. Yeah. I be wishing people be
That was
quiet.
funny. But no, sis, I appreciate your perspective. And you know, everybody has their different ways of communicating, and we have to really listen to the different social cues. Some people they don't mind hearing perspectives. Some people do. Some people want to hear your opinion. Some people don't. You know what I mean? So we gotta respect what people are. Respect people are if you respect and love them, and you know, and from there, you know, if we do that, society would be a lot better. I want to close on this note, man. I want to close on a note of listen, today, tomorrow, whatever, man, definitely do something that inspires you today. Do something that makes you happy today. Do something that makes you smile. There's so many things that or so many energies, or so many different things that can distract us or take away from who we are, what we're trying to do, right? Don't focus on the things. I shared Philippians 4 for a reason, right? And I believe it was Philippians 4. I'm going to go back to the scripture again because I just had it on my okay, there it goes. I shared Philippians 4, I believe it was 4 through 9. I share that for a reason, right? And definitely please read over it. You know what I mean? And read over the whole Philippians 4. It's awesome. Okay. Um and read over it and let it bring you comfort. And I'm sharing these things to share that read something that brings you comfort today. Do something that brings you comfort today. Be around somebody that brings you comfort today, right? Do something that's really gonna bring you comfort and bring you that happiness, man. You know what I'm saying? In our community, we gotta really focus on things that make us happy, that put us in the best vibrations, moods, and everything else, right? Focus on those things, right? And also, I want to encourage us to eat the things that's gonna make us feel better. All right, health is wealth. All right, so yeah, we like to eat certain things and kind of do certain things, and maybe we want to eat certain foods that ain't right or whatever. You know what I mean? So our community is especially in communication, exactly. You know what I mean? So we definitely need that. You know what I mean? But in that, understand, let's put the right things into our bodies, right? You know what I mean? And so that we can be strong and that we can be healthy and that we can be functional, right? Let's really start loving ourselves inside out and allowing ourselves to be around energies that's going to provide the same. All right? With that being said, family, I will be back tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? I want to do an impromptu live because this was something that was really, really on my heart and I had to talk about it. And I've been meaning to talk about it for a minute, but I've been kind of, I've been on my break, so I kind of haven't been wanting to do anything, you know what I mean? But it's something I had to do. I had to talk about this. You know what I mean? Thank you for your prayers and thank you for your love. Continue to pray for me and my family. Continue to pray for my anxiety and my depression and my grief. All right? Pray for that for me. I definitely appreciate it. She said Philippians chapter 4 is powerful and it's food for life. Indeed, sister, much love. It definitely is. You know what I mean? I want to thank all the content creators that came up here, all the poets, just everybody who is just in the field of creativity. Okay? And all the supporters, you know what I mean? Even if you're not a content creator, thank you. And please follow people on their social medias, right? Show them love, show them that support. All right? And definitely, you know what I mean? If you can, reach out. Give them that support, man. Buy that book. Do whatever it can to support them and show them that you really are supporting their content and support what they do. All right. With that being said, love y'all family, and we are out. I'm about to drop that outro. Where's it at? Here it is. Let's get it.